All right, let's bring in former Republican Lieutenant Governor from South Carolina, Andre Bauer, with us in studio, along with partner at Flynn Zito Capital Management, Doug Flynn, and former Principal Deputy White House Press Secretary Hogan Gidley. Welcome to all of you. Hogan, I'm going to start with you here. Obviously, affordability, the buzzword du jour, and lately, of course, in politics. Do you think that the president will be able to convince Americans that help is on the way?
I do, in large part because his record indicates help has already happened in a lot of areas. We're seeing lower prices for gas than we ever did under Joe Biden, lower costs for energy than we ever did under Joe Biden. Inflation was at 11% under Joe Biden. Now it's closer to 2.5%. Interest rates are down as well. A lot of successes, but there's no doubt the American people don't feel all of it because Joe Biden so desperately hurt this country for the last 4 years. So it's incumbent upon Donald Trump not just to remind people where we were, but where we are now thanks to him and his America First policies, and where we have more successes on the horizon with the big, beautiful bill that's coming into effect. You're going to see no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, the largest tax cuts in American history taking effect in the coming year. So it's not just about the messaging here, which is on our side because the facts are on our side, which is different than Joe Biden. But it's also reminding people there's more to come, that there are more successes that will make their lives better, regardless of their race, religion, color, or creed. He's the only person that can do it. Going out on the road, talking directly to the American people, that is where he's strongest.
Well, let's stay on the messaging here. Andre, once a politician, always a politician, right?
Maybe not.
Maybe not?
I'm recovering. It's 15 years now. I'm recovering.
All right. How would you handle this messaging of affordability?
I do exactly what he's doing. The president, better than anyone I know, when he gets on the trail and really talks to the American people. I met him in 2016 in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, got a personal meeting with him, endorsed him, second elected official in America to endorse him way back then because I wanted a change agent. I'd heard all the folks that learned talking points. I wanted someone that could lead our country that really knew about business. This guy's had the ups and downs of business. He knows what it's going to take. Look, we've got a GDP that's rising. We got low unemployment. We got consumer spending that's really strong right now. We got a housing market that's 3.7 to 7 million short on housing because of the dip that people didn't start building after 08 that you're now seeing a rebound on. The economy is looking better and better. Look, we've got to get our hands around the inflation, and he's working on that right now. And the big thing also is interest rates, and he's in a roundabout way trying to solve that problem too with Jerome Powell on a last few days left. Yes, right. And trying to get somebody in there that really says, look, we've got to address this. The average person like me that does real estate and invests and does development, to borrow money at 7.5% is a tough way to make it work when you're so used to seeing it at 3.5%, 4.5%.
Especially for small businesses.
Absolutely, and I'm a small business. I am that guy that actually feels the difference when it's at 7.5% that you have to borrow.
That's a big difference. Yeah, Doug, want to get your thoughts here. We interviewed economist Dr. Peter Morici yesterday, who said that the most important thing at this point is for Americans is going to have to be patience, because it will get better, but President Trump, of course, is digging out of such a challenging situation economically from the past administration, and I'll say past transgressions, that Americans need to wait until better paying jobs come, and they will, and tax breaks. And again, but he said patience will truly be a virtue here. Do you agree?
I tend to agree. I think the messaging to this point has not been effective, and that's why consumer confidence is the lowest it's been since April. So they need to do that. I think that's why he's going on this tour. But a couple of key points. I mean, it's just in the phrasing. So you can say things like, hey, let's recognize that affordability is an issue. Prices are up 25% in the last 5 years, but 22% of those are under Biden. That's a different way to say it. You can also say that inflation under Trump 1.0 for the entire 4 years was only 7.8%. In 1 year under Biden, it was over 9. You had real wages growing after inflation in Trump 1.0. They were growing at over 1.5% per year over inflation. Under Biden, they were shrinking. And so those are all factual statements, but people haven't felt any relief yet because he kind of campaigned on lowering prices. And really what you were trying to campaign on and what you should have has been lowering the rate of inflation, because the last 3% that we've had is on top of all the inflation we've had before it. So, of course, it feels worse now than it ever did before, and things are definitely improving, as everyone is saying, but it's just in the messaging to this point has not been as effective. That's what I think they need to do here if they want to make an impact.
And I think that's the goal with him going on tour
Yeah.
again, to get back on track and continuing that. So many of the points that we just brought up in this conversation. Doug, Andre Hogan, got to leave it there. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys.